Welcome to Nintendo Voice Chat's Wind Waker Special. I am your host, Jose Otero, and I am joined by two regulars and a secret special guest. So
I'm not the secret,
yourself.
I'm just Pear. Hi.
Oh, hi, I'm Brian Altano.
Yeah, where have you been?
I'm here, man. I'm here now. That's what counts.
Okay, 2 weeks without Brian.
I'm a busy dude.
Ratings
I
dip.
get around.
We missed you.
I'm on every other podcast in the world. Just
Alright.
go find me.
Okay, all right. And special guest, please reveal yourself.
Hi, I'm Cosmo Wright. I speedrun Wind Waker and other games on Twitch TV. Sup?
Hi,
Awesome.
Cosmo.
Hi, Cosmo.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us, man. We're really happy to have you here. Why don't we answer last week's question of the week? So Pear dropped a mighty gauntlet last week by asking listeners to basically come up with, okay, if you can kill any Nintendo franchise, right? It has to be a franchise, a game that had sequels. Which one would you kill? Which one would you take away and say, forget it, we're not doing these?
Oh, I know the
anymore?
answer to this. This is
Yeah,
so-
what's
alright.
your answer?
My easily is Kirby. Easily. And, like, don't get me wrong, Kirby is charming, it's beautiful, it's actually sort of fun.
Hyper cute.
It's hyper cute. I love the power-ups. I like that whole system. But in terms of Nintendo platformers, it's easily their
It's a
weakest
kids
one.
game, yeah.
It's a kids game.
yeah.
You can be lazy and just basically fly through the whole thing. None of it ever really feels like challenging to me. It always just feels sort of like, okay, here's this sort of open world map design that brings you in a couple of levels that have looked sort of the same since 1985. And I know Mario is guilty of all these same things also. I just have more fun running around hopping and bopping in Mario than I do like stealing that Meta Knight sword for the 8 billionth time. And
Gotcha. Yeah, I have kids, so I want to keep that franchise. You know, I'm honestly, I mean, I'm more bored with. I think some of the generic Wii franchise like Wii Play and stuff.
Sure.
That's an easy answer, but I think it's a little bit of a cop out because they're not even a thing to me. They're just kind of like these very generic connections, like almost collections, almost like an extension of the system, like set, you know,
Yes,
the system
yeah.
itself. So I would put Mario Party on there just because I think they've just run out of ideas and steam, and like it feels like the same thing ever. They never make the board game aspect an exciting part of the game.
No.
It's always a little bit too slow, and like every incarnation, you're like, oh, thanks for letting me skip that, but what about all the other things you're dragging me down with? So
it's so,
We'll give-
it's so right.
maybe
So
we'll give Cosmo a little bit of time to think about this. Which Nintendo franchise would you get rid of if you had to? And I'll go into some reader answers here. Oh yeah.
I think I have an answer. I guess I would have to say Yoshi, because I feel like the only one that was really
That is a good
probably
answer,
worth
Pear.
playing
Yeah.
was Yoshi's Island on the SNES. And it doesn't seem like they're gonna really do anything with it. I don't know. I think it'd be cool if they made like a
Yeah.
brand new, like really awesome one, I guess. But I mean, I don't really think they're gonna. And I guess
Well, the next one,
they should probably just.
maybe.
I don't
I
know.
mean, it looks more like
I don't
Yoshi's story visually. Maybe they're gonna make it a little harder again, but I don't
No,
think so.
that
Yeah.
new one looks terrible.
Oh, whatever.
It looks
Just
so
wait.
bad.
Just wait
I know
till
it's
it's-
early, it's in development, and I should give them the benefit of the doubt, but
Yeah.
what I've seen of Yoshi's Island 3DS, I think that's what it is. I'm not impressed.
I like Cosmo's answer here because it goes into this theory I talk about a lot, which is sort of the majority sucks theory, where you take something and you look at it and you go, well, actually, if you lay it all out, most of the things in this franchise are not good. Like,
Yeah.
there's one thing that's good. Like, you can actually say it with Star Wars now. Like, the majority of Star Wars movies suck.
Mhm.
The majority of Terminator movies suck. The majority of Aliens movies sucks. The majority of Yoshi games aren't that good. I mean, there's like 1.5 pretty good ones, and the rest you can totally skip. So yeah, that's a great answer.
I don't think the majority of Terminator movies suck.
Really?
No.
Well, that's a
There's
different
been four
podcast.
of
The
them.
I'll
first
have that
two are
out.
good. The third one is actually not that bad.
It's
kinda
not,
fun.
but then it goes downhill.
Yeah, and then the last
from
one
there.
was just kind of boring because they literally cast a robot as the main character. Anyway, I'm gonna go to the listeners
answer,
now.
Kaz.
Yeah. So Rodrigo.br from Brazil, I assume,
Brazil.
is saying that I'd get rid of Wii Play if you consider that a franchise. It had a sequel, right? Well, yeah, it's in a way, you know, Wii Sports Resort. Play, Fit, Music, people consider that to be a franchise, then that's a good answer. We've got, hold on, have some good ones here. LC Snoogs says Mario Party.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
I agree.
It's just boring. Plus, Nintendo Land kind of fills that ticket. And what if they took Mario Party and made it more of a all Nintendo franchises coming together? Maybe not as stylized as Nintendo.
What about
Land.
Fortune Street?
Cool.
Turn it into Fortune Street.
Yeah,
Wasn't
there
that
we go.
good?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a good game? A
Yeah.
good Mario Party?
No,
Sorry.
that's true.
But
The
no.
beautifully named Mega Dweeb, like your Mega Man icon, says the Pokemon Rumble series. I feel there's no real evolving gameplay mechanic that has the Nintendo quality I enjoy. Feels like a cash cow for younger children and Pokemon diehards.
Yep,
I agree. I mean, like, I love the idea behind it and like the scanning of the Skylander style scanning of toys and storing data and trading and stuff. But it's like a Flash game.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a really simple Flash game, like the lowest common denominator. Simple creatures, simple combat.
Yeah, when we had it in the office and you guys were all going crazy about the figures and stuff like that, I came over and I was like, "Oh, Jose, I want to try this," and he played it for 10 minutes and he was like, "You don't want to try this."
See, what we like about it is the fact that it's Pokemon and it's collaborative, right?
Sure.
That's what's cool.
It's cute.
And it succeeds based on that, but it is really like a free online Flash game. By the way, did you ever review that?
No.
Why you? We should.
I just got in trouble on the podcast?
We
No.
should no. We should warn some people. I'm sure there are fans out there. Somebody said Excite Bike. I'm not even going to mention your name because that's just cruel. I love Excite Bike.
Mm-hmm.
I
What
like
about
Excite
Excite
Bike.
Truck? Did you like that?
I loved Excite
Just
Truck.
Excite in general?
I
Yeah,
loved
I
Excite
totally-
Truck.
All
I think
that
it was
butt
one of
metal
the best
didn't
Wii
get to you
games,
at all?
actually.
Yeah.
No, that was great. That made it better.
That's truck music, man.
You could truck on the moon in that
Yeah.
game. That game was awesome.
Okay, good.
So here's a controversial one. Global Link 99 says, this made me think for a moment, but I would possibly choose Animal Crossing. Sorry about this, but I can't get my mind around doing chores during the early games of becoming the mayor in New Leaf. Man, that's harsh, dude.
Yeah.
I love Animal Crossing. Nintendogs, Drybones21 because Nintendogs. So yeah, no, he's right. Mario Party, Wingman 17. So a lot of we play Mario Party. Somebody says if anyone suggests Fire Emblem, they have to answer to me, and nobody did. So that's good. Thank you for that. First NES fan, 1978.
Alright, so I have some from Facebook.
Yeah, what do
you
you
want
got?
to read off a few more?
No,
or-
keep on going.
Okay, so Zimmer Ramiz said Star Fox, Freudian slip. Star Fox. I almost agree with that. I feel like Star Fox is just kind of... The remake was good on 3DS, but it is a remake. Like, when was the last good Star Fox game, you played? Yeah, that's a thing.
Right,
Christopher
that's
Saunders
true.
said 1080, although how many 1080s were there? I'm not sure.
2.
Yeah,
Two, yeah.
there's two.
Okay, so
See,
it
the
counts.
original was awesome.
There were like
It's
two,
just that I
right?
think we fell out of love with snowboarding games because
Oh,
we
we
feel
did.
like we've done everything we can with SSX and 1080. Yeah.
Right, I feel like SSX just like nailed everything so
But
well
think-
that
but
like
think about it.
1080
What was
just
that
fell
Disney
away.
interactive
I don't
game
know.
where
No one really cares about.
You race through cityscapes that are blowing up and slipping.
Oh,
on.
you're talking about Split Second. That
Yeah,
was
Split
really
Second. So
good.
Yeah,
I thought Split Second was really cool because you had this kind of Beetle adventure racing setup with lots of like changing. Me
Yeah.
too. With lots of changing environments.
love
and
that
stuff.
game.
And, like, I could see a snowboarding game that does that, where the levels are truly exciting and like the avalanches actually feel like you're inside this giant like avalanche, not just kind of
Totally.
Like, I could see that working on a next gen platform, but.
Remember when your snowboarding game was part of your launch lineup? That was the thing.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
and Ridge Racer
Yeah.
were both like required at launch, or at least it felt that way, right?
Yep.
All right, so a few more. Stephen Carpoli and Kirk Landry both agreed Mario Party, which came up before.
Yep.
Kyle Wackerly said Paper Mario. And
Aw.
here's one that's going to rub Pear the wrong way. Electra Harms said F-Zero, Pear.
What?
Yeah.
Well, Nintendo already did that for you. Okay.
Yeah, they gave it to Sega. No, I disagree with that. I think F-Zero is one of the last skill-based, really technical games that Nintendo has, and that's kind of to a fault, right? A lot of people pick up these games, go like, whoa, with F-Zero X, it was really sparse looking, and people didn't think it looked as cool as Wipeout, which was out at the same time, right? And then with GX and AX, people picked up the game and they said, what are you doing? This
Yeah.
game is like, it physically, like, it takes out a bat and hits me in the nuts
Yeah,
when I'm playing it.
And I've been playing video games my
yeah.
whole life. I love
It
Nintendo
was
games.
hard.
I love F-Zero. But I hate F-Zero because F-Zero makes me break controllers.
I love it. I
I
think
get
it's so
so
cool.
mad.
I think F-Zero GX. I think F-Zero GX is
I love
the
that
best
game.
racing game ever made. It's so good. I don't know. I love the challenge. I love it so much, and just like
it's
it
one of those
feels
games
so
where when
good
you
and so
do
fast.
That last stage in the cup and you come in first, you just jump up. You're like,
Yeah,
yes,
you
because
scream.
it killed you like 50 times
Yep,
before then,
yep.
Okay.
So I don't agree with it, but I do think it needs something new in order for it to sell in this
Sure.
market, right?
So my answer, I haven't given one yet, is New Super Mario Brothers. I
Wow.
want that
Oh,
to
get the
go.
hell
I
outta
want it
here.
to go away. So
What?
let me just explain. I understand what those games are going for, and I respect them for it. Right, that classic 2D nostalgia, following a lot of the same rules for the most part. Right, I mean they still operate on lives. They still have a point counter, even though who's watching that? Unless speedrunners are watching that, Cosmo, you can let me know. Yeah. Yeah,
No,
and
I
the
don't think
structure
they
is
are,
very much
as far as
the
I know.
same as like Super Mario Brothers 3 for the most part. They follow that template,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like they don't take a lot of risks visually. From a platforming perspective, they do try and add on whatever new thing is added to that Nintendo platform. So, for example, in the Wii version, there was some motion control stuff. In the Wii U version, there was some touchscreen stuff. But I feel like I just want to see those 2D games evolve in a sort of a bigger way, and I feel like the small incremental steps, which Nintendo is known for, to be fair, just are not doing it for me at all.
You know what? I agree with you. There are a couple of readers too, like Nintendo90, Eric J, DMaster342 say the same thing about New Super Mario Brothers. Like I was thinking about that game, and I disagree with you a little bit, but they could conceivably take the tile set from Super Mario World from the Super NES, make all new levels and stick it out there, and it would be as good as New Super Mario Brothers, despite not having that visual fidelity. The one thing that I'd say is different is the multiplayer. Like,
Yeah.
it is
Totally.
it can drive you crazy and it's tough, but it
It'll start
introduces
fights with
it
friends,
introduces
yeah.
this dynamic where you have to pay attention. Like the obstacles aren't just the bullet builds; it's your friends too, right?
Mhm.
Like you bounce off their heads and you kill them and you fall yourself. And I really love that they did that.
But that pause when someone dies is
It's
so
annoying.
irritating.
Oh, God,
it's
it's
something
so
that
annoying.
has to change. Like,
They should
that's-
do a boom, 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 like a 3, 2, 1 countdown when that happens, just to
Yeah.
get you back. Because freezing and then you dying is just the most annoying thing. ever.
Yeah, it's-
But like I feel like if they need to do something with that franchise because it feels like it went to the well a little bit too often now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not excited about that franchise much, and I just think like, wow, if imagine they spent that development time making like a brand new 2D Metroid
answer.
or something, I think that would be a lot
Yeah.
like really interesting.
Yeah, I completely agree
you
with
know,
that.
so I don't
Everybody,
know.
one guy in comments, 81 Jono81 said Wave Race. It's not hard. Jesus, I love Wave Race.
Yeah.
Again, that's
man.
another. I mean, we haven't seen that franchise in ages.
We've seen 2, right? Well, not counting the
Yeah.
Game Boy, not quite Wave Race, but the original N64 game blew my mind. Just taking shortcuts by going under the water and stuff was just so awesome. And I thought the sequel that NST did had some really cool technical components too, where you could really compete for great times by doing some original stuff.
I guess-
So real quick, back to what Jose was saying.
Yeah, sure.
Because I love the new Super Mario games, and I'm weird, right? And I play them with my
You are
fiance,
weird.
and they're really fun to me. Like, and I am weird. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like each one is so slightly incrementally different that I feel almost as if Nintendo is also hearing and seeing what people are saying when they're like, I'm bored with these, they're too repetitive and stuff like that. I have a feeling the next one they do will be completely off the wall, both visually, gameplay-wise. It'll still be a side-scrolling game. But I think that what they did with the new Luigi pack thing,
Yeah,
like,
that was
it's
good.
really smart, it's really cool. Like,
Mhm.
you have 99 seconds to beat a level. Each stage starts with that, like, race to the flagpole music. You're out of time. They have to be beaten straight through. There's no checkpoints anymore. I thought some of the coin stuff they did on the 3DS version was cool. I thought that adding multiplayer on the Wii version was cool. The Wii U thing was sort of like, hey, we need something for launch, so I give them an excuse there. But the level design there was really, really good. I mean, in terms of, if we get to these things once a year, and the levels are, there's 80 brand new levels, and they're really fun in multiplayer, then I'm going to keep buying them personally.
Yeah.
I can see why people are getting fatigued,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's just enough in each one to lead me along to the next
I
one.
feel like the logical next step is to Little Big Planet A, where you have a tile-based game. You give the tools to the users to make any level they want. They can create their own textures. They can use blocks, put them wherever, and share them out into the community. That to me is a killer app. You're
Well-
using 2D for a reason. You're creating this.
Pear,
2D
what does everybody
landscape.
do when they get Little Big Planet? They make Super Mario Brothers levels.
Yeah, I know.
But what the hell are you going to do if you
No,
get
exactly.
Little Big Planet Mario? You're
They're
just going to
gonna
make the
make-
same...
But
Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea, especially considering like
Yeah,
think about
totally.
how popular all those Super Mario World hacks are. Like all these people make these hacks for fun, and like if Nintendo launched a game where you could
and
make
it
your
works
own
for
levels
Donkey
and
Kong
stuff,
too, but,
I
like,
think people
Little
would
Big
really love
Planet
that.
To me, is it succeeds despite its platforming elements. It's a really crappy platformer. I love that game,
Yeah.
but it's really hard to line yourself up. It's very loose, right? It is little puppets, and Mario is super precise. Like
Take
you
that.
you can align things, and you can exactly make that jump if you are an amazing player, but everybody else is going to fall. And I think people could make amazing challenge maps.
I
and
love
then-
the idea. I feel like Nintendo's way too close guarded when it comes to their creativity and level design when it comes
Yeah.
to something like that. Like I don't know if they would just be like, yeah, sure, make your own Mario game.
Well, they let you make all these tiles in Animal Crossing. You think they'd like loosen up a little.
Those are baby steps. Though.
Yeah, those are baby steps, and I think on record they've just kind of said, well, look, we don't, we're developers. There's an art to what we do, and
Yeah.
we feel this is really relevant. However, I do want to say what you said about Little Big Planet earlier. Take that, podcast Beyond.
Beyond.
Anyway, I had to do it. No, but seriously, yeah, I agree, and I think it would be interesting. I just don't know if Nintendo would ever shoot,
You
sort of
say
open-
that, but think about it. Mario Artist Series, Mario Paint, Nintendo actually has made more creative kits than any other
Yeah, but not
big
for game
developer.
design.
Well,
they'll
if-
let you draw whatever you
Yeah,
want.
they don't want you competing with their guys. And honestly,
No.
I don't want to go home and make a Mario
Yeah.
game. I
We
work
did.
all day. I want professionals to make
Yeah,
Mario
that's how I
games.
feel about Little Big Planet, where I get really excited
have
about all
both.
the things you can do in it. But the community is what makes that better, right? I mean, you go online and you see what people are making. It's kind of like playing Sound Shapes and how you'll look through like those recommended levels and you're like, wow, that was really cool. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have expected that from
Yeah,
Sound Shapes.
There actually a lot of games have, Excite Bike, Fire Emblem have like, level creator add-ons and stuff from Nintendo. So I don't think, but they've never made it a main part of a game, except for F-Zero Construction Set, which came out on the 64DD only. I have that, so we got to do a let's play on that because
Yeah.
you can make insane levels in that game. It's really cool, and I've been yearning for something like that to come out again.
Okay.
And Mario, they should do it with Mario.
All right, so last quick one to toss out there before we move on. Let's not spend too much more time on this because we got to go soon. Is a couple of people mentioned Wario, that the Wario games have really gone downhill. And to be fair, a lot of them have been outsourced, but yeah, it's a little different with that series as well. Like WarioWare and Wario platformers in general, like Wario Land, are not that much of a thing anymore.
Yeah, I was never really, really wild about the 2D Wario games. I know some
Really?
people are crazy
Yeah,
with this.
yeah,
I never
no.
really was. Once the
4 is one of my favorite platformers.
I
ever.
see. I actually
Yeah.
I liked 4 better than the other ones. Once WarioWare came out, though, I was like, "This is the shit. This is awesome."
Yeah.
And then little by little, each one was just like, "Man, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're sort of chasing ghosts here." Like, I love. Was it Twisted?
Yeah, Twisted was
Oh,
the one
that
with
was
the
really good.
Yeah,
That was really good.
And I'm surprised no one who makes iPhone games has ripped that off.
I know.
The
but
fact that hasn't happened like blows my mind.
But a lot of the console ones, like the recent Wii U one,
Mhm.
the GameCube one, and I guess the one for Wii, were just sort of like, why they're
Yeah.
like these party game collections.
Well, there was a DS one, the DIY one. That to go full circle back to that, like there was a do-it-yourself.
Oh,
like,
right,
WarioWare
right,
mini
that's
game.
right.
Like,
Right.
That was fun and that was cool. And they had like a guest developers making one each week. There was like a download level. That was a really cool way to do that.
Yeah.
Not to drive back to that too much.
Sure.
Are you going to say something?
No, I mean the WarioWare titles are kind of like a joke to me, and by that I don't mean they're stupid or bad. They're kind of like you tell it once and it's really funny, and then you tell it again and it gets older and older, right? Like when you play that first game, it was so fresh and so
Yeah.
unique and so different. Nobody else did games like that. And then when you got Twisted, they used that interaction of tilting in a really unique way. They had, do you remember that? They had like a cheese grating toy.
Yeah.
And like you use it, you're like, oh my god, this feels like a cheese grater. It's
Yeah,
really
like
weird.
that's what I love about this game. So
Yeah.
it's not just the single player campaign, but the overall package. They just pack it with all these cool little toys and
Yeah.
trinkets and stuff like that.
And it needs a hook, otherwise it becomes a joke told twice,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And-
Which is honestly,
Yeah.
back to Mario, that's kind of how I feel about the first 30 seconds of every one of those new Super Mario games.
Yeah.
Or any Mario game, you don't even have to tell that story anymore.
Hello,
Yeah.
Like, hey, come on over, we're gonna, oh no, you're gone? Okay, I'll come chase you. You don't even have to do that. Just cut right to the part where Mario gets
I gotta
Or
go
he's
save
in
her again.
jail.
Yeah.